Well, one of the bills we had this year related to sanctuary cities, and this is where certain cities, and you heard the story was all over the news in San Francisco, where someone who was here in the country illegally, who had committed crimes and was supposed to be on a hold for deportation, was released by that area's local government and proceeded to commit a murder against Kate Steinle. And so this concept of sanctuary cities, where politicians locally say, for political reasons or philosophical reasons, we're not going to comply with existing immigration law, that needs to be addressed, and we need to make sure that doesn't exist in the state of Florida. And it really comes down, in my mind, to following the rules. You don't get to pick and choose the laws you want to follow. And so we had a bill the House passed, I co-sponsored and debated in favor of, that would end the practice of sanctuary cities in Florida. And I think that goes to public safety. We want to make sure that people that are violent, people that have got a criminal record that are here illegally, are no longer here. And it should be real simple, and those that don't want to follow the law need to have some consequence to that. So we need to tighten that up a little bit. I think the tone we set, I think it's important that we realize that there's thousands of law enforcement officers all over the country that do a marvelous job, that are in a very, very difficult situation, like I was over in the military, that are under stressful conditions, that are dealing with bad guys every day, that go out every day in the morning and don't know if they're going to come back home. We need to realize that in 99% of the cases that they're doing a fantastic job keeping us safe, and we need to honor them. I think the tone may be part of the reason why we see an uptick in crime. If you are taking to the streets on a road patrol and believe that every action you may take may get you prosecuted or may get you sued, it's a limiter. At some point you decide to just kind of keep your windows rolled up and keep on driving. We need to make sure we balance legitimate concerns about how people feel in communities, that if they feel like they do not have a good relationship with law enforcement, we need to address that. And that is a legitimate concern, but we need to make sure that we're not demonizing all of our law enforcement across the country in a way that makes them say, you know what, I'm going to come home safe, I'm not going to get prosecuted, I'm not going to get sued. We need to make sure we're valuing public safety and preventing crimes before they occur, and we need to do that through strong law enforcement. We also need to do it more holistically. It's not just a gun and a badge that brings down our crime. We need to look in areas that are impoverished. We need to look at education. You know, how do we bring in schools like the KIPP school in Jacksonville that I participate with, that go into communities that are about 95% minority, whose average income is around $25,000, that are pretty poor areas, pretty rough areas of Jacksonville. The kids are in uniforms. They really rally them to the idea of going and pursuing a college education. They've got banners from FSU, UF, where their cousin or a family member ahead of them was able to go on to graduate, maybe the first one in their family to ever get a 4-year degree. It's extremely inspirational, and we need to be doing things like that give children in those communities hope. You know, if you have no hope in the future, you feel powerless in the present. And so, as a conservative, it's great that we have strong law enforcement. We also need to look at educational opportunities in those communities. We also need to look at jobs in those communities. So whether it's an enterprise zone where we give some tax benefit to companies to come in and set up in impoverished communities, we need to look at doing those things as well. So we address the underlying sources of crime and gang violence, which is something that is really rampant, and it goes along with substance abuse, it goes along with mental health issues, and we need to make sure we're not taking just a one-dimensional view towards public safety, but a holistic view towards public safety that really addresses all of the underlying causes of why do we get to a point where young people are committing crimes.